Jerry Agar continues. In-depth radio. News Talk 1010.
Well, generally that's the way it goes. You fight the law, and the law wins. Cameron McKenzie is here, and his story is that he fought the law, and I don't know if he won or he lost, but we'll go through the story. Cameron, welcome.
Thank you.
Good to have you. Now, when you wrote to us to tell us your story, the first thing you told me is that you're white. Why was that important?
Well, one of the things that I'm hearing a lot about is racial profiling and the police violating human rights for people in minority status. And I wanted to make it clear that they actually don't discriminate. They actually violate the human rights of all people, regardless of your color.
Well, and it may be more so for people of color. I don't know. But what you're pointing out that you're white, just so that people know that that wasn't a part of the story.
And that's exactly what I did. So I wasn't sure if I should mention that to you, but I wanted to say, look, this isn't a complaint of racial profiling or anything like this. This is just a standard case of police misconduct.
All right. So what happened?
Well, basically, last year, I was arbitrarily and legally detained by police. They held me for over an hour. They did not tell me why they were holding me. Okay. I asked for a lawyer 7 times. They denied me. They performed 5 charter rights violations, an illegal search and seizure, criminal intimidation. They threatened me. They threatened to go to my family. I documented this all. I took it to the chief of police in Peel. He said that indeed this happened. Indeed, these officers were guilty of insubordination and police misconduct. And he said that since the Peel Regional Police don't take human rights violations seriously, these 2 officers would not be formally disciplined.
Why were you stopped in the first place?
I was getting a bunch of texts from my ex-girlfriend, so I had to deal with some ex-girlfriend drama. So I pulled over into a private parking lot.
What time of day or night was this?
You're looking at about 8:30 at night on a Sunday.
Oh, okay.
I pulled into a parking lot, turned the ignition off because you're not allowed to text and drive, and I engaged in that ex-girlfriend drama. So I was sitting in my car for probably about 15 minutes when 3 police cruisers, 2 police officers pulled up behind me and flooded my car with their searchlights.
How did 2 officers pull up in 3 cars?
Because my math is wrong. So it was 3 officers in 3 cars.
In 3 cars. Okay. And what were they worried about? You were sitting in a parking lot. Is there trouble in that parking lot from time to time?
So in the parking lot, they said that I was sitting in my car. And they also said that I did not leave my car and nobody came to my car, and that seemed very suspicious. Now, I was actually on Woodbine in Markham, and when I started getting the text messages, the first building that was lit that I could pull into was the Comfort Inn. They said that that Comfort Inn was associated with criminal activity. It was associated with human smuggling, guns, and drugs, and the fact that I was sitting there in my car and nobody had come out to me was clear evidence and reasonable grounds that I was either dealing drugs, smuggling humans, or trying to sell some dopes.
So you'd think if they thought you were selling drugs, they'd wait to see you do it. I wonder how the Comfort Inn reacts to that, but that's a different story. In fact, what you did, I assume with your phone, was you started recording the exchange. You're not a lawyer, correct?
No, I'm not.
Okay, but let me ask you, is it your understanding that if you ask for one, they have to allow you that opportunity?
Isn't that the understanding of any 10-year-old kid who has seen a police drama, that if you ask the police for a lawyer, that the police not only have to provide you with a lawyer, but they have to stop interrogating you?
Okay. Well, that is our understanding, although television is not the place to learn the law, and most of it's American. But let's listen here to about 45 seconds of the exchange between Cameron McKenzie, who's my guest here now, and the police officers.
I'm really scared. I think like maybe I need a lawyer or something like that.
Why would you need a lawyer?
Because
Did I tell you you will be charged? I did not. Did I tell you you're going to be arrested? No. I did not. So why would you need a lawyer?
Just because I'm scared. Just because I'm scared. You guys have all the power. I don't know what I'm doing. So
we have all the power. Okay. Did we drag you out of the car?
No. You guys are. You guys are good dudes.
Did we search your phone?
Sure.
No. We treated you like a decent human being. We respected your wishes, right? Mm-hmm. So now we're just trying for you to help us out.
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, I'm always told not to talk to the police with a lawyer.
Okay, but you're not under arrest. You're not being charged. You're not even being investigated, right? We're talking because we're gathering information. That's all it is. You haven't committed any offense.
I know.
Okay, you haven't.
Yeah, as I said, I've been told just never say anything about a lawyer present.
Can we please stop with the whole stereotype about not talking to cops? Well, dude, we're not trying to get you into shit.
No, I see you guys doing your job. I mean, I respect that, and I know. As I said, I've just always been told not to say anything. I'm sorry, man.
That's fine. I need to see insurance for the car.
Yeah.
So why did this take an hour? I mean, it's clear from the audio there that the police have said you haven't committed a crime.
Why don't you ask the chief of police that question?
I'm hearing from a police officer who said it doesn't make any sense. You say you're on Markham Road, and that's not Peel Police.
Sorry, it was Woodbine Road. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Woodbine Road in Markham.
Oh, Woodbine Road in Markham.
Highway 7 area.
Okay. So you spent an entire hour, going around in circles?
Well, I didn't. The police approached me, and I was very, very polite to them. They asked me what I was doing. I told them that I was texting my ex-girlfriend. What they then said was, well, we don't believe you. Show me your phone. And I said to them, look, I don't feel comfortable showing you my phone. They said, why? And I said, because then you get access to every Facebook post, every email, every photo, and that's a privacy rights violation.
Right.
They then said that they would not let me go unless they saw me the phone. I then asked them if I was being charged with something. They said no. I said, I'd like to go. They said, we're not done talking to you. I said, then I'd like to talk to a lawyer. They said, you don't need a lawyer because we're not charging you with anything.
All right, we're going to continue. We have asked for some sort of response from Peel Police. We didn't get turned down. They just haven't bothered responding to us at this point. In-Depth Radio, News Talk 1010. I'm Jerry Agar talking to Cameron McKenzie. You heard the audio of him and police officers. He was stopped in a parking lot and questioned for about an hour. The police said that there is criminal activity that takes place in that parking lot, yet they never charged him with anything. Now, we have your side of the story because we can't get the police to talk to us on this.
So I disagree with that. I have a 60-minute recording you can have. I also have the results of the OIPRD investigation. Everything that I actually provided to you, even before we got together and talked, is actually directly out of that. So this isn't my opinion. This is all facts that are backed up with documents. Well,
have you spoken with the chief of police?
I have not spoken with the chief of police.
Okay. Have you tried?
No. One of the things that actually happened here was I believe in going through the proper channels. And the proper channel when you have a police complaint is to contact the OIPRD. And so I've been complying with those channels.
All right. And how much cooperation what does that stand for?
The Office of the Independent Police Review Director. It was actually ridiculous. As soon as I started the complaint, the investigating officer said, okay, the first thing I want to see is the text message and know the person you were talking to. And I said, that has nothing to do with this. That's like asking a woman how short the skirt was that provoked her rape. I said, they had no business doing that. So it was just a matter of re-victimizing me, trying to grab private information from me, and really I felt that they were just trying to push me off and talk me down from the investigation.
But have you not also told us that, in fact, they found the police officers acted inappropriately?
They did. They said that, indeed, there were human rights violations here. They said that, indeed, that was insubordination. They did say that, indeed, these police officers worked together and collaboratively to violate human rights. But they also said this is something they don't take seriously, and these officers will not be formally disciplined.
Well, what human right was it? Your right to just move on?
So from the charter, I believe 10A says that when detained, you must be told the reason why. They never told me. It also says that you must be given the right to counsel immediately. They did not do that. They performed an illegal search and seizure of my car. One of the rights we have, it's not actually explicitly, is the right to remain silent. I tried to remain silent, and the officer threatened me. He said that if I didn't start talking to him, he was going to put an entry into the police system, and he was going to indicate that I was uncooperative, something that would come up anytime in the future. And he also threatened me with charges. He said he would wallpaper me with tickets if I didn't start talking. He did. He actually gave me 3 Highway Traffic Act tickets when we left, which is interesting because I was in a private parking lot, and the Highway Traffic Act does not apply in private parking lots.
Well, and your car wasn't running.
And the car wasn't running.
All right. So the only people that I guess, from what you're telling me, that could have a problem with your car being in that lot would be the people who own the lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah. and they haven't become involved.
No, they haven't. You know, one of the big things that's important here is the fact that, you know, at the end of this, I was actually ready to admit to starting the Great Chicago Fire of 1871. I was scared. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know what was going on. And that's me. I'm a good-looking, articulate, 42-year-old man who knows his rights. What about the general population that aren't as good-looking? What about the general population of people that don't know their rights? This was Markham. This is filled with people that don't speak the language. What happens when these guys get your 17-year-old daughter in their crosshairs and they want to force a confession out of her? Is she going to have the wherewithal that I did to not say anything for over an hour of interrogation?
872-1010 is our number. 872-1010. More in a moment on In-Depth Radio, News Talk 1010.
In-Depth Radio.
As I said, I've been told just never say anything about a lawyer present.
Please stop with the whole stereotype of not talking to cops.
Well,
dude, we're not trying to get you into.
No, I see you guys doing your job. I mean, I respect that, and I know. As I said, I've just always been told not to.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm sorry, man.
That's fine. I need to see insurance for the car.
Yeah.
In-Depth Radio, News Talk 1010. I'm Jerry Agar. I'm talking to Cameron McKenzie, who has brought us audio of his exchange with police, a misconduct finding from the investigative branch here. What are they called again?
The Office of the Independent Police Review Director, OIPRD.on.ca.
And they would investigate any police incident in Ontario.
That is their responsibility.
All right. And they found that there was misconduct on the part of several of these officers, not all three of them.
No, the one officer, I only asked him for a lawyer twice. His response was, you can phone whoever you want. They felt, and that was a staff sergeant, so that was a senior officer overseeing this. They felt that for that particular officer, it was actually okay for him to deny me a lawyer twice.
All right. So Cameron says that he was texting, so that's why he pulled over. In a parking lot, the police found that suspicious, and they talked to him for over an hour. How would you respond, Cameron, to somebody who just texted me? If he had complied, he would have been out in 15 minutes. Given the impression of hiding something created the confusion.
I didn't hide anything. They asked me what I was doing. I told them I was texting. I had my phone in my hand. They wanted to see my phone. If the police, and I actually said to the officers, there'd been a recent Supreme Court ruling that said if police can get an unlocked cell phone, they can go through everything. That would have given police access to every email I've sent, every picture I've ever taken, every Facebook post, all of that. Furthermore, the police were trying to get me. I originally said that I'd pulled over to talk to my ex-girlfriend, and then I said that my girlfriend and I were having a fight, and they were like, oh, I thought you said that was your ex-girlfriend, but now you're saying it's your girlfriend. And at this point, I knew I was in a situation where these guys were just going to take anything that I said and use it against me. And that's when I started saying, look, guys, I don't feel comfortable with this. I'd really like to leave. And they wouldn't let me.
All right. I think that we've been told here on the show when Mike McCormick has been here from the Toronto Police Association that you don't have to just give your phone to the police. But there's a difference between what might be written down in the law and how it feels when police officers are grilling you and telling you to give them certain documents or property. Well, here is Harris on News Talk 1010.
Hey, Jerry.
Hi.
Okay, you don't have to give your phone to the police, but if they ask you to show them your phone, all you have to do is show them the text message from your hand. You don't have to give the phone to them where they plug it in and then take all your information out of your phone. That's not what happens.
Okay, well, I've got a question. If you ask the police for a lawyer, are they supposed to give you one? So would you trust these police?
Well, they don't give you one. They let you make a call.
But would you trust these police officers? They're not letting me go. They're not telling me why I'm detained. But now I should trust these police officers not to do an illegal search of my phone? You must be crazy.
No, he didn't say hand it to them. He said just show them the text message.
But do you not think that they would then grab it from my hands, or do you think that these officers are such honorable officers that they would never do such a thing? They were doing an arbitrary, illegal detainment. I was not going to give these officers any more information.
There was no physical alteration between you and the officers. They didn't arrest you. They didn't detain you. In fact, you just said
actually they did detain me. It was decided that they did detain me.
Harris, that was the finding, and if you're told you can't leave, then you're detained. Is that not correct?
No, that's fine.
Yeah, okay. So we only have a minute or so left here. There was a finding that the police did, in fact, commit misconduct in the form of insubordination and failing to carry out their duties. But what will happen as a result of that? Or do you know?
Well, no one's allowed to find out. Because this is not going to be formally disciplined, no one is allowed to know the names of these officers. No one is allowed to know what will be done. And because it's an informal discipline, what happens is very minimal. So they will just probably be given an hour-long online video to look at as part of training. But the problem is...
That's a guess on your part.
That's all they tell you. But this is not a training issue. Training teaches you facts. I don't believe that a staff sergeant in Peel Regional Police doesn't know that it's against the law to violate charter rights of people. This is a cultural problem. It is a cultural belief that is okay, that you can do this without impunity. And when you do it, you actually won't get disciplined by the chief of police. This is a cultural problem, and training doesn't fix culture.
All right, the next time we have Mike McCormick here, I'm going to bring your story up with him. He's not responsible for those officers. His union is the Toronto police officers. But just the issue, and some of these issues brought up, what can you refuse to do if the police are trying to get you to do it?